Hey guys, we are in the basement. Today we're going to be doing a John's Arcade, well, kind of on the road. Guys, today we are getting a new game, and also in this video, we are saying goodbye to an old friend. I know, it's hard to believe, guys, but in this video, Star Wars is leaving. I know. You know, this is kind of a bittersweet thing here. I'm not really sure what to think about it, but I traded my Star Wars and my Multi-Williams away to my buddy Jay, and in return, I've got a Robotron, which is already down here, a 720, and an R-Type. And in this video, we're gonna be getting the 720. And actually, my buddy Jay and Scoots are on the way to my house here with the 720, but they're making a stop along the way at my buddy Adam's house, and I thought I should go over there and meet them. So why don't we get in the car and we'll see Jay and Scoots and Adam, and then we'll come back to the house and get that 720 in the garage. So anyway, let's get in the car and let's take a ride over to Adam's Arcade. All right, we're here, and those guys are inside. I just want to see here because 720 is in here, I think. Yeah, it's in there. Holy shit, they took the monitor out. Crazy. All right, let's go inside and find Adam and Jay and Scoots and see what's going on.
Oh, he has the camera on.
Hey guys!
Hey guys!
Hey, what's happening? You took the monitor out of my 720?
Yeah. Make it easy to move for you. What'd you do? Already film it back there?
Yeah.
Go inside. I figured out here in the middle of nowhere. We're not doors, but
we're debugging a Atari video pinball.
Yeah.
Circa 1979.
Did you fix it?
Well, we're getting very close. We
Yeah.
gotta bring out the big guns here. It is inverting,
Yeah.
but I don't know if it's doing the right thing.
So this is that Atari video pinball game. It's like a half silver mirror and blacklight effects.
Black and white.
It's
yeah,
a cool ass game.
Yep. Trying to bring it back to life.
And what was wrong with the board?
Well, right now we're
That's it.
garbage.
That's what the board's doing right now.
Exactly. Yeah.
And have you found anything?
Yeah,
we
we're
have.
seeing some sketchiness on the right.
Whatever we
Right
write, we
now.
always read back 3F, and so it's not taking what we write to it. It's just giving us the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, that doesn't look right to me.
And Adam, you have like this fluke thing that kind of like replaces the CPU essentially, right?
Yeah, it lets you control the board instead of the CPU. So rather than the CPU reading and writing to RAM or accessing ROM, you can basically do that with the fluke, and you can decide what
kind of
you
takes
wanna
over.
run. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And it's plugged into the CPU slot right there.
So we can do memory checks, which is what we're doing now. We're writing certain values to memory and then reading them back. And what we're finding is that no matter what we write, we read back garbage, or 3F in this case. And so we can continue to do that over and over again, like write to the same address and the same values. And while we're doing that, we're looking at the actual data getting sent across the board with a logic analyzer to figure out where is it getting messed up. And what we're seeing is we're trying to write to the thing, but we're actually reading from it incorrectly. So
Crazy.
So there's something going on there. We think it's probably this area right here. Probably should, for good measure, pull that LSO4 out of there. Because not only is it controlling that clock, but it's also in the read time.
You understand any of this, Scoots?
And I gotta C.
What?
I'm completely at C.
It's 3F, man. You know, it keeps reading back 3F, and
like my draft designation.
All right, so did something just happen here?
Well, we think we figured something out. So there's a lot of stuff going on with this controller.
Okay.
One is the control signal, which is the direction, whether you're reading or writing.
Yep.
And the other is the data itself, which is on this side. And if you look at the signals up here, the direction is doing some funky thing here, but so is one of the data signals.
See, data 0.
They're exactly the same, which means they're probably shorted together.
They should be
And
the
we
same.
took a look at the schematic here, and sure enough, the control signal is on pin 1, and the data is in pin 2, which is right next to each other.
Yeah.
And this
So they're
socket-
shorted,
and this
potentially.
socket was just replaced, so chances are...
The socket's bad?
Yeah, or there's just
There's
a
a
solder glob.
solder
there as well.
Ah.
So we're gonna-
Who
we're
replaced the socket? Who did that?
John's Arcade.
Did you use like a like a 10-watt Radio Shack?
So anyway,
Did you do that, Jay?
We'll take a look and see what's going on.
What?
Oh my god. Well, we're getting closer.
Yeah, we're definitely getting closer.
Interesting. So Adam, why have you here? And people want to know what's going on with pole position clone. Is it done yet? Because Adam
It's been done.
It's been done.
No.
Because Adam is making a drop-in modern replacement for pole position. It's FPGA that's got pole position 1, pole position 2, and the Namco and Atari versions. So 4 different ROMs.
Sitting over there.
It's sitting over there, and everybody wants to know about it. And everyone's talking about it.
I'm working on it. I've worked on it a lot this week.
Yeah.
On the audio stuff. The audio hardware is done, but I need to verify and test it all out.
Yeah.
So I'm getting there. The problem is, it's just pole position is such a huge
Beast.
There's so many ROMs on there.
Yeah.
And the dev kit that I have from FPGA Arcade doesn't have the capacity within the FPGA itself to handle all the ROMs.
Yeah.
And so I have to play some tricks, try to figure out if there's some things that I can prune out. Actually, what I'm doing is I'm taking all of the road circuitry, all of the cars, all the signs, and I'm ripping all that out temporarily, just so I can get a test screen. Just the characters is all I really care about. Just to get a test screen up, because from the test screen, if you play with the shift, you can go through all the sounds and you can test them all out. That's all I need. I just want to see characters and have the sound stuff in there.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like peeling back the onion. I'm pruning stuff that I don't need, just so I can fit it in there to test it.
All right. So you're getting closer.
Yeah, I'm getting much closer.
All right. So when is it? When can people buy it? Next year?
Probably first it is.
2015 sometime?
That's my goal. I would love to be in 2015. Yeah.
All right, so you heard it, guys. June of 2015?
Sometime in 2015.
Okay.
We'll go with that.
Late Q4.
All right. So what are you guys gonna do now? You gonna replace the socket or?
We're gonna. It's shorted out somewhere.
Yeah.
It's probably at the socket, so we'll flip it over and we'll check it out.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
We'll check back in a little bit. So you did find something? The socket was in the wrong hole?
Yeah, so there's a double footprint here.
Yeah.
And if you look on the schematics, you can use an LS, 244 or 245, and then some other part,
Yeah.
depending on which one they had in stock. And so if you had one part, you'd stick it in one set of holes. If you had another part, set of holes. When the socket was pulled out, it was just the socket was accidentally replaced in the wrong set of holes.
Interesting.
So now whether or not there's other errors or problems,
Right.
we don't know. But
we know that is one
Yeah,
problem.
so we'll clean all, get all the solder out of here, and then we'll put the socket back in the right set of holes and take it from there.
Cool. All right, so that socket didn't fix it, but you're closer, right? And you guys are going to continue this at a later date.
But we got
Yeah.
more to deal with that, so.
All right, so we're going to go move that 720 in Star Wars. All right, guys, let's hit the road.
Get some salted eggs.
Nice to see you again, Adam.
You too, man. Always a pleasure.
Yep. All right, guys, let's go. So what's going on in here?
You can't just show up with that thing.
You took the monitor out?
You gotta give us notice, man.
Does it look good?
It looks
What's with the blue T molding?
Well, yeah, you can change that. it's yours in a few hours.
All right, let's go back to my house. We're about to put the monitor in. So Jay, we gotta feed the video and power to this hole. Is that the idea?
You got it.
And this is like a massive 25-inch medium res monitor, which is not trivial to replace. I guess like a Golden Tee monitor would work. Those are 27 though, aren't they?
Some are 25.
Are they?
Yeah. Should be the audio should be in here. We gotta feed this.
So we got some issues down here that we're gonna take care of. We're gonna paint that black. But overall, this thing's pretty presentable.
Okay. Scoots, I need you to.
I love the boombox on the top. I mean, that is so badass.
I'm gonna feed this through the back.
And then Jay and his brother replaced this back piece of wood because someone cut the boombox off, which is not right by any means. And they replaced the whole back, and they did a fantastic job. So we're gonna paint this black, and I'm gonna find some kind of grill to put on here.
That should be enough, I'm guessing.
And then Jay, did you get around to replace the header?
I brought it with me, John.
Oh, we'll do it today? Okay.
Yep. In fact, you don't even. All you do is take the original pins. We can just take the original pins out of the header that's in there. It looks like someone just put the wrong header on it. It's the wrong size, so
okay.
I brought the right one with me.
All right, so we'll fix that.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, you wouldn't even need to repin that. Just pop them out.
Yeah, you just pop back the headers right out and then put them in.
Okay.
Yeah. Here's the replacement.
Nice. So we're not replacing the header on the board, just the Molex?
Just the Molex because it's not the right one. The header we might want to reflow though, John. On the back side, you can see it looks a little crispy.
Okay.
On the left, and that's probably why somebody replaced the header in the first place.
Gotcha. Boy, that's a hack job there, huh?
We're gonna take good care of that.
Yeah, we will.
might just put new wires in if you have them.
Who do you think did that?
Wasn't me. I did not do that. All right. All right. So I think we're good to put this in. The only tricky part is like these wires tend to get in the way when you push the monitor in. So
Does the monitor? It's not elevated by any means, right? It's just
no,
sitting
it's gonna
on.
go right across this.
So the
way.
wires are underneath it.
They actually come in between here. Like, believe it or not, they come in between that
Oh.
board and like the tube itself.
I see.
So it's a very tight fit.
Well, we
Okay.
got 3 guys.
Yeah.
All right, let's do that.
So maybe we'll just push these down first, and then I'll pop them back through.
Okay, so we got the game all put together here, but there's some burnt up Molexes and pins and Scoots. Did you do this already?
I did already.
Nice, thanks, bro.
Show them the
So-
original.
Yeah, so the original one is just like, look at that burn mark. So we're going through, I mean, I've certainly shown my share of crimping here, so we're not gonna really cover that in this video, but, and then also Jay's replacing the header pins right now, which we're gonna put a new header on right here. It's just basically desoldering the old ones and then soldering this new one in, so just kind of bulletproofing it because it's got some issues here. But after we do this, it should be minty. And then this is all hacked up, which is major bummer. We're gonna replace that too. All right, guys, we got it all hooked up and it is working, so pretty sweet. So we actually did a lot of work here. The headers were all burnt up, the Molexes were all screwed up, and we replaced a whole bunch of stuff. And we were a little worried turning it on that it wasn't gonna work, but yeah, you can see that Molex there. We replaced the pins, these header pins. These things were toasty. You can see it kind of melted there. So we tested the 5 volts, and this game should be in good shape for a while now. It's interesting that that stuff burnt up like that, man. I don't know what happened.
That's typical Atari. They just kind of over time build up resistance on the connectors.
Yeah. But it's working good. I got a little bit of restoring ahead of me. Not too much, though. Such a cool game, dude. The cabinet is sick. So Jay, you're taking my Star Wars.
It's going, buddy.
It's going.
It's going to Jay's Arcade.
Come, what happened? I thought you had a Star Wars. What's going on here? Why are you taking my Star Wars?
That's my brother's.
It's your brother's?
He wants it back.
I gotta say, I'm gonna miss this thing. I think so. I mean, this is what we call a turnkey game.
It's turnkey, or what was the other expression we used?
Plug and play.
Yeah.
I mean, this thing is beautiful. It's got an ampliphone, and it's leaving. It does. This is the only. Right here.
I didn't notice that.
I told you about that before.
Somebody pry that open?
I don't know. I didn't touch it, dude. You should see the inside of this game,
it
dude.
immaculate?
Oh my god.
We'll check it out.
It's mega clean. All right, so we're gonna pull the Star Wars out, and it's leaving, guys. I know. But you know what? This is kind of the circle of life down here.
It's only an hour and a half away.
That's right.
You don't want to come quite. It's not that far.
But I'm getting to 720. You know, Star Wars is cool. Don't get me wrong, but I think 720 is a little more me.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, let's pull it out. Goodbye, Star Wars. Okay guys, it is the next day here, and let's just kind of review. There's a couple things actually on here that are bugging me that I want to fix right away. One thing is the joystick. I've been playing the game, and this joystick is not as smooth as it can be. And we're gonna take it apart and lube it up. Also, these buttons are wrong. These are micro switch buttons. They're supposed to be blue in color, and they're supposed to be leaf switches. I have some extra leaves I'm gonna throw in here. I don't think I have any blue buttons on hand, so we're just gonna maybe put yellow or white on here for now, and I'll order the blues. But I wanna replace these, and also this kick button is not working. So I gotta replace these anyway. I'm gonna put the proper leaf switches in there. Oh, now the kick button's working. But the game is awesome, man. I mean, how cool is this thing? I mean, this is one of... This cabinet is ridiculous, man. Look at it. Look at how freaking cool this thing is. The boombox on the top, it's got this really unique joystick, by the way, that turns a full 360 degrees at an angle. You see that? So this is one of those games that's really hard to replicate in MAME. Now, there's some things about the cabinet that are clearly not right, like the bottom there. I'm gonna have to paint that. That's not a big deal. Someone kind of bondoed it, but didn't paint it for whatever reason. I need to put some leg levelers on because it looks like the bottom of the cabinet is kind of touching the ground. The back here is really hideous. I'm not gonna do like a crazy restore on this though. My goal with this game is to kind of fix the very obvious flaws and get the game playing 1,000,000%. Now, the monitor looks incredible, actually. I spent some time adjusting it yesterday, and I think it looks really sharp. The picture is filling the whole screen, so I'm really happy with that. So really, the one thing that's really bugging me right now is this joystick, though. It just doesn't feel very smooth, and I printed out the Atari manual, and it shows how to lube this up, and we're going to do that right now and also replace the buttons. But in general, I'm pretty damn happy with this thing. You gotta admit, this thing is sick. So it's got the original Wells Gardner 25-inch medium res monitor in there. The bottom of the cabinet is kind of a little dirty in the bottom. We'll clean that up. I have to paint the top here black because Jay and his brother replaced this piece of wood because someone had cut off the boombox when I went to his house and looked at it, and I asked if he could fix it, and they did a really good job. I need to get a vent for up here. I'm pretty sure I have the vent that I need for that from because on my Quantum, I ordered all the reproduction metal parts, and I think the vent was one of those parts, which means I have an extra one because that cabinet over there already has the vent. But anyway, so why don't we just get to work here? Let's take the control panel off. And let's remove that joystick. And I already unlatched it, and you guys can kind of see how it looks in here. This joystick is like gold, man. This thing right here is really expensive to replace, and all of the parts, the replacement parts, are very expensive. Milestar sells the parts on his website at arcadefixit.com. Now, hopefully, I won't need any parts, and we can just kind of clean it up. But let's kind of get to work here and take it apart. I think I'm going to turn the game off because this music's going to drive me crazy right now. Let me turn the game off. Let me get some tools, and let's get that joystick off. Okay, the one thing I noticed here on the top is that someone used standard screws to hold this in here, and now I know why. Because it is impossible to get any kind of tool on this nut here. It's like in a weird spot. However, because there's standard screws, I can come on the other side here and unscrew it from the top. I'm guessing that originally it had some kind of carriage bolt type deal. But man, this is in a tight spot. And I was thinking about replacing these standard screws because they just don't look right. I mean, this is what's on the top there. And that's not original. Originally, it was probably some kind of carriage bolt because on these arcade games, you're never going to see like exposed normal screws normally because people can then vandalize the game. You know, if it's just like a Phillips head or a standard screw holding a marquee down or something with the control panel, all someone needs then is a screwdriver basically to take the game apart. And so usually the exposed screw heads are like carriage bolts that you can't turn, or like security screws of some sort, you know, be it Allen or Torque. So whenever you see something that looks like it was purchased at Ace Hardware, it probably was. Do you hear that little that's actually on the cassette on Journey, because I think like when I pressed stop on the tape player when I was recording it, it kind of introduced a little bit of a stop sound, like a cut. And it always does it right there when the song starts over. All right, let me, it's not the tape player. I'm gonna get this one off here. All right, last one here. Okay, I got the last screw off and the thing's just kind of hanging here. So there's an opto board on here. We got to disconnect the connectors on it. There's 2 of them. You guys can see that. And there's an A and a B. And are they keyed? Alright, so we need to remember where they go, because B goes on the left. In fact, I want to document this. Let me grab my camera. So A's on the right and B's on the left. If you guys can see in there, there's 2 Molex connectors, and we want to make sure we put that back together right. And I'm just going to take a quick photo with my phone here. Let's put this down here. Okay. So A is on the right when you're looking at it. A is on the right when you're looking at it. Okay. So that's A. Okay, so here's the joystick. And you can see how it works. It has this chain, which is really kind of mechanical. So here, take a look. So when you rotate this joystick, it's moving this chain. It's actually moving this, boy, what is the purpose of that chain there? That's really interesting. So when you spin the joystick, it's spinning this large gear down here, which then hits this chain. I wonder if what is the purpose of the chain? Because look at when you spin this, it's spinning this wheel, right? And then the wheel has a gear, a large gear on the inside, and it goes to, and then on that gear is the chain, which comes to this sprocket over here. So what's the point of spinning this thing? And that's really weird. And what is this thing that's hanging out? That doesn't look right to me. This piece here? Huh. So anyway, you spin this thing, and then there's these 2 optical wheels right here, 1 and 2. And then right here on the opto board, there's 2 optical sensors. And that wheel, these discs go through the optical sensors, and it reads, see how there's like little holes in there? And that's how it knows when it's spinning, because it's reading, the optic sensor is basically sensing the non-hole area here. So every time it hits meat of this wheel in between the holes, it knows that it's getting a reading. All right, so let's bring this over to the desk here, to the table, and let's just start taking this thing apart. Is this gonna be fun? Yeah, I know. We should be working on the Journey. Okay, so I went in the 720 manual, and I printed it out. And it's got maintaining the rotary controller, and we're going to basically follow this. And we're going to lubricate the friction-producing surface of the area, blah, 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 replacing or tightening. Perform the procedure to lubricate and tighten. Open the control panel. Disconnect the harness. Using a 3/8 nut driver. We already did all that. Okay, it says apply a chain lubricant to the chain. Okay. Disassemble the rotary controller as described in disassembling the rotary controller. Okay. Apply lithium grease to the roller and the lower ball of the control handle. So we want to do that. And we want to apply a chain lubricant to the chain and then reassemble it. So let's see what we need to do to disassemble this thing. Disassembling the rotary controller. Alright, so we did that. Use a Phillips screw. Remove the 4 screws holding the encoder dish shield to the bottom. Remove the 2 screws holding. Okay, so that's. They're talking about this, so we should take that off, I guess. I guess we'll take it off. Alright, so we're taking the optical board off. It's a cool joystick though, isn't it? It's totally unique. So there's the optic board. I'll probably reflow the headers on this thing. Certainly won't hurt. Yeah, maybe reflow all the solder on it. Just kind of freshen it up. Okay, so that's off. Okay, it says to remove the chain from its sprocket, use a 5/36 Allen wrench to remove the screw and washer holding the sprocket to the post. Okay, which is that. Do we want to take that off? We probably should. We gotta clean this guy off. So we need to get an Allen key. I really don't know why that's there. That doesn't look right to me. I don't know. So to remove the chain, use a 5/36 Allen to remove the screw and washer holding the sprocket to the sprocket post. They gotta be talking about that. Alright, so we gotta get an Allen key for that guy. Let me grab that real quick. Alright, let's pop this off here. Okay, so we got this free now. So now we can take this off and we'll clean this up. It's not very smooth at all. So we're going to take it apart and clean it. And then it says, using a 9/64 Allen, loosen the 2 cap screws through the side openings of the centering disc spacer. 2 cap screws. What is it talking about? You know what? Let's just take let's take this piece off. Okay, so that comes off like so. Probably should document how that goes on here. It goes like that. Let me take a look at the diagram to make sure. It's pretty great though how all these companies documented this stuff. Atari and Midway both did a fantastic job. So like this. Okay, so that's going to be pretty obvious. Alright, so we'll take that piece off. Alright, so now we got these wheels that I want to clean. So let's take those off. So there's 3 screws here that are holding these optic wheels on. And I wonder if this is a case where I should take a photo too, because I believe there is, see this little notch here? I'm pretty certain that that needs to be on here like this in relation to how these screws look. I'm going to take a photo of that just to be safe. Okay, so let's take off the last one. I still don't understand the point of the gear. Is that just to give it a feel? Alright, so this comes off. And then we've got this guy in here. That, okay. And here comes the other one. This is filthy, man. So we'll clean this all up. Alright, so now this gear can come, this chain can come off. Man, I hope I could put this thing back together. Okay, so now we've got 2 Allen keys right here that are holding this gear on. Hopefully I got the right size here. Big, too small. These metric. Let's see if I have. There we go. Okay, so now this thing should come off like so. Filthy. And there's a little plastic washer in there, bushing. I'm actually starting to get a little nervous here. This thing's far more involved than I thought it was. But I'm sure I can get it back together though. Alright, so there's a C-clip here. I'm guessing that if I pull this off, the joystick will come off. Okay. So, just looking at the picture, the diagram to make sure this is all documented well before I remove this. And it is. So, just want to keep this stuff together, these parts. Okay, so I think the joystick will come out now. No, there's a ball in there. Alright, so let's take off these 4. I bet you after we take these guys off. Oh, don't strip that. Don't strip it. Boy, that thing's on there. Whoa, that's on there. Arrgh. Let me go see if I can find my other Allen wrenches. Hang on. Okay, you know what I'm realizing too? Is that I'm going to have to do this again to change the dust washer. That's alright. That's okay. So I'm going to take it all apart, I'm going to clean it up, I'm going to put it all back together, and then when I get a new a proper dust washer, and when that's this guy right here, see that? That is totally wrong. It's not supposed to be like that. So when I get a new one of those, I'm going to have to do this all over again. Shit. What size is this? No. Alright, what is going on here? I got all the common hex key sizes and none of them are fitting that. The thing's like rusted onto it, if you can see there. I guess we'll try this again. Doesn't. Yeah, see the wrench. Oh, there it goes. There we go. Okay, so now I think this plate should come off. Oh man, look at that. Whoa. What the hell? Oh my God. That is disgusting. What the hell is in there? It's like dirt. Look at that, guys. Boy, it looks like I'm going to have to order a bunch of parts here because this thing is sloppy. I'm guessing it's not supposed to go up and down like that. Alright, so let's take these 4 screws off. And then this piece here. So we're going to just clean this all up and re-lube everything. This is going to make a hell of a difference. Alright, so let's keep these 4 pieces. That goes through the top. Let's keep these guys over here. Like that. Alright, so let's get in here. Okay. So I should order some new parts here. Probably this guy. And obviously a new dust washer. Looks like I'm missing a part. The rollers. Huh. Looks like I'm missing a piece. the diagram here. The roller. I don't seem to have that piece on here. Because it's supposed to go... I might. Is that it down there? So this is held on with a pin. Oh, I see. And then this is the lower ball. And then above that is supposed to be a roller, which I don't have. I have this collar right here. Huh. I'm going to go online real quick and just Google an image of this to see what's going on. Okay, I went online and I went on a website called the 720 Zone. It's a fantastic website. It's 720zone.com. And according to him, there are actually two different versions of this joystick. One has a longer roller and one has a shorter roller. Okay, so the version that I got here out of the manual is actually the old version. So this one has the newer version, which is a single longer roller, which is that black guy right here. And it looks like this was sitting in the top cavity of this, which I think is technically wrong. See, as you spin the joystick, this roller, see how it's riding against the wall? That's actually wrong. I think it's supposed to be in the lower one right there, okay? So when I put it back together, I got to make sure that this roller is in the lower cavity, and then we're going to grease the hell out of this just to make this move nice and smooth. And that's really the key to this joystick is tons of lube, grease, lithium grease, white lithium grease. And there was none on this thing. So it looks like this was just put together wrong. This was in the wrong spot. The old design had the roller riding in this upper cavity, and then the new design, they moved it down here. See that? Okay, so anyway, what I'm going to do now, though, is now that we got all the parts off, I need to clean this stuff, and stuff's bad news, man. I'm gonna, I guess I have to sand some of this rust off. We got to clean the chain. This is filthy. Look at this thing. So I'm gonna take some simple green to this. We might sand the rust off. And I'm just going to go to town on it, so let's clean it up. Okay, we're all done. I got all the parts cleaned and sanded. I got all the rust off of them. How did we do? I think we did okay. You know, this I think had originally like some kind of plating on here, and when I sanded it, I removed that plating, which is okay. I mean, it's better than not have. So it's the raw metal. I'd rather have that than the rust. And I sanded down the encoder wheel for the opto. It was all patinaed. The copper turned green. Cleaned up the gear. This was all rusted, so everything looks good and everything's nice and clean. The one thing I want to do real quick here is I'm just going to reflow these headers on this. I mean, since I got it out, it's not a big deal to do, and all I'm going to do is basically just heat up the solder on this part and then add some new solder. And that way, if there are any cold solder joints or anything just kind of loose in there, I'm going to clean it up right now. And it's such a small board, and it does have header pins that can go bad. So I'm just going to come in here and just do this real quick. Why not? I'm not having problems with this board that I'm aware of, but this is just kind of like preventative maintenance here. You know, especially after we took care of the headers on the game PCB, those things were hosed. Okay, so we reflowed all the headers there, and let's take a look. Just kind of looking at the rest of them here. These look... I'm going to go ahead and just touch up some of these other ones too. Looks like the ones on the Optos. They all look pretty okay. That one looks a little suspect. I'll just come in here and just hit them again. And all I'm doing is I'm heating up the part, and I'm just adding a little teeny tiny bit of new solder to it. And then as soon as I see the solder flow on the part, I just lift my iron and I'm done. And so when you see people saying, reflow the headers, this is what they're talking about. Okay. Good enough. Nothing else really jumping out at me here. Okay, so now that that's done, it's time to put this thing back together. And I don't think it's going to be that hard. I'm going to just follow the diagram here. This is the one from 720 Zone that has the whole thing on one sheet. Here's the one from the manual that is actually has it as on two sheets. But I'm just going to go through here and take my time and put this thing back together. I did take some photos to help me guide me along the way, but really it's just putting it back together. Now I am going to need to lubricate this thing, and I'm going to use this. You should use white lithium grease, and I have this stuff here. This is Lubriplate. It's very similar, if not the same. It's kind of a white, thick grease. I went to Ace Hardware. They didn't have paste, lithium grease paste, which is what I wanted. But I have this stuff. This will get the job done. I know it will. But you should use white lithium grease. I believe this is very similar. I actually Googled this to figure out what this is. And this stuff here, I guess, is used for guns. It's military approved. I guess in World War II, the M1 Garands and all that, I think they lubed their guns with this stuff. So this is like military grade lubricant. And it's also for like AR-15s and stuff. So this is like the gun guys use this. And I guess this stuff also can be used on food equipment. I don't know if this exact flavor, but Lubriplate, I guess, is a big maker of lubricants for like food processors and stuff. But so yeah, this seems to be a pretty good lubricant just based on my research. So I'm going to use this, or you can use white lithium grease. I mean, hell, if this doesn't work or it doesn't last, it's not a big deal. I'll just take it apart and re-lube it. But I'm going to use this stuff because that's what I have, and I don't have to spend any extra money. And then also what we're going to do is we're going to basically saturate this roller with this stuff and this ball down here with this stuff. And then we're also going to saturate this with the lubricant because that goes in this hole here. Okay, so basically everything that's making contact with something else that's kind of like a bearing or a bushing, we're going to lubricate. So we're going to lube the hell out of this, and it's probably going to make a gigantic difference because there was no lubricant on here. It's hard to believe. So, all right, so let's put this thing back together. Okay, guys, I'm done. I'm gonna tell you, I have 2 words for you about this. That sucked. Honestly, putting this back together was horrible. You know what? I got confused a bunch of times. I had to put it together, take it apart because I forgot to put like a bushing over here. It was just, you know what? Take a lot of photos, guys, and really document this if you're gonna do it. And then also, listen, it's way smoother than it was. Absolutely, no question about it. It's way smoother. However, I have some seriously worn out parts on this, and I'm going to have to replace them. The one part that's really worn is this thing right here, the pivot ball. That thing's hosed. Like one half of it's completely like a cone, and the other half is round. I've got some wear on this lower housing and in here. So I don't know. I think I'm going to replace the upper housing, the pivot ball, the roller, and the disc, because those parts are available at Arcade Fix-It. But consider this video kind of like a maintenance video. You know, what we did today with this joystick was we reconditioned it using the original parts. We took it all apart, we lubed it up, we cleaned it. I mean, this is something that you're going to want to do anyway if you get one of these games. You got to take this thing apart and re-clean it, and re-lube it. And also, this right here is to adjust the chain tension, and I figured that out how that worked because there's one screw on the top here, and what you do is you tighten this down about 3/4 of the way, and then you move this left or right to adjust the chain tension, and you don't want it too tight. I've got it actually pretty loose, but ow, I like how it's performing. So I'm leaving it the way it is. I still don't know what the hell the purpose of that chain is. I don't get the chain. Why is there a chain? Is it to give it resistance? I don't really see what the point of that chain is. I just don't get it. But look at it. I just sliced my finger on that disc when I spun the wheel. Ow. All right, so we're ready to put this back in. I'm going to go get a Band-Aid here. Hang on. But let's put the joystick back on. Let's try it out. Okay, I'm back. I got a Band-Aid. One more thing I do want to point out too is that, see these 2 wheels right here? They go in between these little optical sensors. See that? And you got to make sure that those wheels are not touching the sensors. They need to go in between because it's kind of like this, right? And then the blade of the wheel goes through it, okay? And you don't want it to touch either side of it. Now my wheels are kind of bent. They're kind of like all irregular shaped, right? So I had to kind of angle the board a little bit to compensate for that so it doesn't hit. So you could see I mounted the boards at a slight angle, but these 2 screws here, you loosen these, and then this board moves up and down, left and right, and that way you can use it to line up the blades there with the optical sensors. See that? And if you spin this, you want to make sure that there's no contact being made. And you'll find these optical sensors on a lot of games. A lot of spinner games like Tempest, Tron has that. So there's a bunch of games that have this kind of setup with this wheel and the optical sensors. So, all right, let's put the joystick back on the game and let's try it out. Okay, I want to show you guys something here that I didn't realize initially, and now I do. There's actually a direction on this joystick, and I didn't know that. And I was reading the manual, and it said, make sure the joystick is pointing towards F when assembling. I'm like, F? And it says it's printed on the underside, and I'm looking on here, and sure enough, there is an F right here. You guys see that? And then also, underneath, there is an F on this piece, this piece right here. This piece also has an F right here. So you're supposed to line these 2 F's up like so. Okay, F, F. I'm guessing that's the front, okay? And I didn't realize that when I put this together, because I was looking at the joystick on the machine, and my opto board was on the left, and it's supposed to be on the bottom, okay? So I did it wrong. And I went and read the manual, and sure enough, the manual says make sure the F's right here, F, F, and then the joystick needs to be in the F direction when you're assembling it. Now this piece here that goes over this is a little confusing because I can't find an F on this one. But there is orientation here because it's got these little nipples, okay? So I do know that it goes like this, and then this piece, when it goes on, this bracket right here for the optoboard needs to be on the bottom, okay? That means that these nipples need to be at 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock, okay? And if that's the case, then when you put this on, everything's in the right direction. This is on the bottom, the optoboard holder, and then I have the joystick pointing forward. So if this piece is on right, when you put this on with the F's up, the optoboard is on the bottom, okay? So this is actually the correct way to put this thing back together. I did do it wrong initially. So I'm going to go ahead and put this thing all back together, and then we're going to see how it behaves in the game. Maybe it'll be a little bit better. So, all right. Yeah, this is like the 4th time I put this thing together, so I'm getting good at it. Whatever. It's trial and error. Okay, guys. One more thing. In the manual, it states that when this joystick is pointing towards F, which it is right now, F's right here, that when you put this gear on, these Allen screws are going to be at 12 and 9 o'clock, and they are, in relation to the optoboard. So they are at 12 and 9 o'clock, so that is correct. So I'm doing it all right now. The manual is all making sense. It was just a couple lines in there, you know, but I didn't notice it initially, and it looks like it was pretty important. So F, joystick towards it, 12 and 9. Okay, cool. I'm going to keep putting this thing back together. Okay, guys, I got the joystick back on the game here, and so I want to point out one thing here that I did not do right initially. And so right now I have the F on the top here, okay, and then the optoboard's on the bottom. And then when the joystick is pointing towards the screen, see this disc here is the position disc, and there's a notch right here, okay? That notch needs to be in the opto when the joystick is facing towards the screen, okay? And if you put this thing together like I just did with the joystick towards the F, like this, and the front here is actually technically going to be the back. I don't think it matters 180 degrees here. If we put the F here and the opto on the bottom, I think it's the same thing as the F on the bottom and the opto on the bottom. But I did the F on this side, and when the joystick is like this, when you put this silver disc on, the notch needs to be up. But then when it's facing towards the monitor, the notch is actually inside the opto. Does that make sense? So that was a mistake that I made initially, and I think now I absolutely understand this, and now I have it right. So let's put this back together here, and let's test this out. I'm really confident that I got it back together right now. Let me turn the game on here, and let's play us some 720. Okay, so the game's on. Let's go into test and calibrate the joystick. And you go to test through the coin door here. And I'm going to go ahead and hit that switch. Okay, so here we go. Press kick, 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 kick. Gotta wait for the 6502 processor test. And then press again. Okay, now. Rotate control slowly until zeroed message appears, then release. Okay, press kick. Ah, oh, god damn it. You can't press kick in the middle of the joystick test. You gotta actually wait for it to advance to the next test. Because if you press kick, it's actually leaving the joystick test altogether. Rotate control slowly until zero message appears. Okay. Press kick. Turn control counterclockwise 1 revolution. Good. Rotate controller to the top and release. Perfect. All right. Turn control clockwise 1 revolution. Yeah, we got it, guys. This is good. Turn control counterclockwise 1 revolution. Turn control clockwise 1 revolution. Rotate control to top and release. Thanks. Okay, I think that's it. We got it. It's all calibrated. So, we put it back together correctly. That's all that matters here. You know what? This is a learning experience. I've never done this before. How'd you expect me to know all this crap? All right, let's play SM720 with a finely tuned and lubed up joystick. Boy, that does feel pretty good, even though those parts are all worn. All right, let's start the game. Yes, I am really bad at this game. It should be no surprise to you guys at all. I'm bad at all these games, except for Donkey Kong and pole position. Okay. Alright, so here's the map. We're here. Let's go to the ramp park or slalom. Let's go to this downhill park, I guess. We'll go this way. Let's get that money. So right now we have a ticket to go to the park. See that right there? And so we have one ticket to go to one park. And then after that we're gonna have to earn points to get more tickets to go to the rest of the parks. I'm trying to spin too far. So the timer ran up, and now some bees are going to come get me, basically saying you need to go to a skate park and do something. Okay, so here we are. This is the downhill. Beat the timer to win, okay? And this one, we're just trying to get to the goal here, going down these ramps. And I'm trying to land square. Of course I suck. Okay. Alright, so we got a little thing there, a little sticker for the bottom of our board. Okay, so now we have one more park ticket. It says we could use better shoes. So there's like skate shops all over the place, which is cool. I mean, guys, you know, I love skateboarding games. You know, God, Tony Hawk's like one of my favorite video games of all time. And I just love this thing, man. Let's get an upgraded helmet. I'm not really sure how that stuff helps you in the game. Alright, let's go do this one. Alright, this is the ramp. Oh, I'm so bad at this. This is a half pipe. Do you guys remember Town and Country on the NES? I think it should say you're spinning too fast, not far. You could do like a hand plant. I don't know what makes them do it. There you go. Woo! Alright, we got the bronze medal. Look at us. So yeah, this joystick feels great now. It's still not right. It's all, you know, the parts are all worn out, but it feels good. And it's smooth. Alright, so hey, we have another park ticket here. So let's go to the next park. I have 75 bucks. Let's get some new shoes.
Hey, good choice, kid. You're gonna love it.
Look at that. So there's like all these little other obstacles in here you can get points. But I don't really need to do that because I have a ticket. So let's get out of here. Damn it. We gotta go find another. Oh, man. So the bees are coming to get me. Alright, let's go to the slalom. Alright, beat the timer to win the medal. Right through the gates. Boy, man, this is so much easier now that my joystick is rebuilt. That's the best I've ever done on that level, and it's still not good. All right, so we got another stamp here. So I need to do one more event on this level, and we need 2,750 points for our next ticket. So that means we got to start earning. I want to take a peek at the map to see where I need to go next. So I need to get to Jump Park, which is over here. Okay. And we gotta try and earn some points along the way. So if you jump over the water, you get more points, as it says. Ah! Damn it. So I'm just making my way to that next one. I need 850 more points. There, go. Go, 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 go. Bees, nah, the bees got me, damn it. All right, let's continue. Let's go do the last course. All right, so this is the jump one, which is kind of fun. Getting too fancy. So I'm spinning the joystick. I don't know if you guys have figured that out to do these tricks. Look at that. Ah, I failed. Ah, that sucked. So now what happens? So now we are in the higher level here. So class 2. Let's go to the class 2 rampart. I gotta say, I'm really, I've been playing this game for like the last day, and I'm already getting better at it. Yeah, I still suck, but I'm really getting accustomed to these controls.
You don't have a ticket.
Oh man. Next park ticket at 25,000 points? What? How am I gonna get that many points? So I guess I gotta come in here, skate in the skate park. But I'm being chased by bees. So yeah, I mean, that's the game, guys. I'm pretty happy here. I gotta say, now that the joystick's working, the game's actually like really playable, and I'm gonna order those parts and rebuild it. But having this, I mean, this is such a unique joystick. I mean, there's no game that has anything like this. I mean, this thing's crazy. So now that that's working good, we're on our way here. So I don't know. I just love this cabinet. I love everything about it. I mean, this game is basically me in high school. This is me. This is John, freshman year. This is the world that I inhabited. These colors, these stripes on my Vans. A boom box, skateboarding. This game came out when I was a freshman in high school, and skateboarding, BMX bikes, and computers and video games. That was my life. And this game's awesome, man. It's a keeper. It's so freaking cool too. What a cool looking game. Come on, guys, look how awesome that is. Boombox. So, all right, well, we got the joystick all squared away. I'm not done with it yet, but we're getting somewhere. Anyway, there you guys have it. That's gonna do it for this 720 video. Hope you guys liked it. And we'll, well, actually, let's go back down to the basement and get out of here. But, God, this thing's cool. I gotta get this down in the basement, like, really soon. I gotta take care of a bunch of stuff on it. It's rough around the edges. I think if I just throw this in the basement in the row after I paint the black in the front and replace the T-molding, I don't even think I'll even notice any of these flaws, but we'll see. I'm really not up for another full-blown restore. I mean, I know, we gotta finish the frickin' journey and the quantum first, so I don't have time this year to take this on in a big way. So I'm going to just make it look really nice and make it really playable. I mean, the monitor is fantastic. I mean, look at that thing. That's a good-looking monitor. That's a 25-inch medium res. So if I can get these controls all squared away, replace these buttons. These are supposed to be blue leaf switches. And paint that black, put some new T-molding on it. I think we'll be in really good shape. So, all right, guys, let's go back down to the basement. All right, guys, there you have it. That was the 720 video. And yeah, by the way, look how disgusting this is with the Star Wars missing. This is the subtle reminder that, yeah, this is actually an unfinished basement that we're in. Looks good over here, though. But anyway, you know, at one point, the arcade was gonna, like, it ended here. And I had the games, like, here. And I pushed it back because I wanted more room. And so now that's why the carpeting ends here. But anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna put the Dragon's Lair, I think, in this corner. And we'll do that later. But anyway, I hope you guys liked the 720 video. You know, I don't know if you guys could tell in that video, but I was actually I wasn't frustrated, I was fatigued. That was a lot of work, that stupid joystick. I mean, first of all, that thing is complicated beyond belief, right? There are a gazillion parts on that joystick, and I took that thing apart 4 or 5 times. And honestly, it started getting clearer, though, the more I did it, though. Like, the first time I put it together, it looked right, but it wasn't right. Because it wouldn't go on the control panel because I had the top piece rotated 90 degrees. Actually, 45 degrees, right? No, 90 degrees, yeah. And so I took it apart, and I read in the manual about the F thing, but I went to war with that joystick. I mean, I literally spent all day Sunday working on that joystick. Now, the video is only a little over an hour long, but I probably worked on that joystick, and I'm not exaggerating, for about 7 hours on Sunday yesterday. And by the time I was done, I had no energy to edit that video. And I just finished editing the video now here, Monday night. It's 10 o'clock. It took me 2 hours to edit the video because I had so much footage, and I had to figure out a way to put it together because, yeah, I know, I like showing all the mistakes in my videos, but only if the mistakes are really quick, you know? Like, I went down a road that was so wrong for a while that I couldn't show that because it would be, if you guys didn't finish the video, you wouldn't know that it was the wrong path, you know? So I cut a bunch of stuff out, and quickly came back to show you guys the F thing, and I hope it all made sense in the end, but, I did get the joystick on there correct. It's 100% right. It's not technically 100% right, though, because the F should actually be in the front, and I have it in the back, but it doesn't matter because you could turn that part 180 degrees, because it does work perfect. The main thing is that disc has to be in that opto sensor when the joystick is pointing towards the screen. The disc has to be in there. And I've got it now. And you know what? The joystick was installed incorrectly on the game when I got it. And I don't think the person who owned it ever knew. And I fixed it because the game plays... the control of the guy is way more accurate now that I've rebuilt it. And I don't think it's because of the lube or any of that. It's because I think that it was put together wrong. And because I used the photographs as reference to put it back together, and the photos were actually wrong because they did not match the manual. And so, yeah, someone put that thing back together wrong at one point, and I just fixed it. So everything's good. So I hope you liked it. We got a lot of stuff going on, guys. We really do, you know? The journey, yeah, I know, we didn't work on it this week. It's not that I needed a break, it's just that I have too many distractions right now with Dragon's Lair and with the 720. I kind of gone nuts with Dragon's Lair a little bit. And we're going to be doing some videos regarding the Dragon's Lair, the artwork, the Laserdisc player. We're going to be doing a bunch of stuff with it. Now the 720, I'm not anticipating a bunch of videos on that one because I'm not going to be doing that much to that game. When I get the new parts in, I'm going to rebuild it real quick. I'm probably not going to film that because we just did all of that. So I think really the journey is going to be the next thing here, the next video after this one. Unless we do some Dragon's Lair stuff, because I do have a bunch of stuff coming in for Dragon's Lair. It's going to be really cool. What we're gonna do to it. I'm actually really into the Dragon's Lair. Like super into it. It's so freaking cool. So anyway, that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And you know, I want to thank you guys that leave comments and subscribe and just send me so many positive messages. It actually means a lot to me. It kind of fuels my desire to keep making these videos every week or twice a week is what I shoot for. And if it wasn't for you guys encouraging me to do this, I wouldn't be doing it. So I want to thank you guys a lot because I think you guys are all cool and the feedback is always great. And I love... It's funny the things you guys pick up on in the videos, and I'm getting smarter about that stuff too. So, anyway, that's it. Yeah, I got two podcasts. One's called Video Game Outsiders at videogameoutsiders.com. The other is called Arcade Outsiders at arcadeoutsiders.com. I do both those shows live, 9 p.m. Eastern on allgames.com. And then during the week, go to Stitcher or iTunes and search for Video Game Outsiders or Arcade Outsiders. I do want to remind you guys that October 10th and 11th, I'm going to be doing a live show at Grinker's Grand Palace Arcade with my podcast, Arcade Outsiders. Now, we did this last year, and it was insanity. I mean, we're talking insanity. It was some of the most fun I've ever had in my life. It was a blast, and we're doing it again, October 10th and 11th, Grinker's Grand Palace in Eagle, Idaho. Now, I've got details about this on the arcadeoutsiders.com website, and there's also a thread in the John's Arcade forum. So if you go to johnsarcade.com and click on the forum button, you can go in the forum, and there's a thread in there about Grinkers. And, you know, what can I say? It's going to be a tournament. We're going to have a classic arcade tournament, and Grinkers has an amazing collection of classic games, all in great condition. So we're going to be doing a classic arcade tournament Saturday the 10th and Friday the 10th and Saturday the 11th. And then October 11th at night, probably around 10 o'clock, we're going to be doing a live show from Grinkers, and that's with my podcast again, Arcade Outsiders, my buddy Joe and Sean. So it's going to be fun. So go to arcadeoutsiders.com. I got information up there on it. So, all right, that's it, guys. We're done. We are really done. And yeah, there's a new overlay on there. That's the next video. That video's almost done. I'm in the middle of it. But what do you think? Looks pretty good, right? So, all right, guys. That's it for me. I'll see you guys next time. Later, and bye.